So if Bart is 21 and Bart can do these things, and the fact that nobody's been hearing anything about Bart, from Bart, why are they hiding Bart? Very interesting thing to think about, especially when you tie that with the fact that Bart and Katie may have been involved. And Katie is supposedly supposed to be the girl that Nolan was trying to stay behind with, okay? All right, everybody, here we go. We're going to talk about this Nolan Wells case. We're going to talk about a couple of updates, a couple of things that I have seen, and talk about the latest of what we know. A couple of people that are saying certain things. There's some things that sound crazy right now, and what they saying right now is that Bart, which was one of Nolan's friends, was actually dating Katie, which is the girl that they saying that Nolan stayed behind for. You might be wondering, what does that mean? So, well, it might mean that there's some kind of motive there, right? And I'm going to keep telling y'all, like I've been saying in all the videos, we're going to keep talking about this when we get updates, and we're going to keep speculating, because speculation, we need people to speculate, because you never know when one person might uncover the right clue, man. So we gonna do what we gotta do, man. Now, let's take a look at this video right here, and let's first talk about Bart and this girl, Katie, and what people are learning. And then we're gonna get to the audio a little bit more. We're gonna talk some more about the audio, because there's a lot of things being said about the audio.
Katie sitting in the tree. Kissing. First come love, then come marriage. But somehow, Nolan didn't make it back to his family on July 4th, 2026 after last being seen with you all usual suspects. So which one of y'all want to come to the motherfucking front and claim that y'all were in a relationship? Who wants to tell us that the motive, the plan, and the opportunity? This is why I say anything you say, post, send, and receive can and will be used against you in the public opinion court. Because last I checked, Warren and that faulty ass friend Trey said they clear ass and have clear ass down on a Negro House podcast and thought that they were going to be slick.
Tap Dancing Tatum. That's the podcast she talking about, in case you wanted to know.
But we are slicker. And what it appears to be that the streets are saying that Bart and Katie been kissing in the tree.
Uh-oh.
And you remember when they kept saying Nolan left with Katie? Is that Bart's Katie? Because Bart was there and he saw. And we know y'all times already fucked up that. But what we do know is said on that Negro House podcast and said that he saw Nolan with Katie and he made a little jokey joke. And the same thing with Trey had clear ass. He said on that Negro House podcast and said he said something like a jokey joke to Nolan too. Who's going to crack first? Because we already know Bart is a liar. He lied and said he was nowhere in the vicinity, but your name entered a police report. So make the math make sense.
So I'm not saying that this is definitively a motive for something that happened, but this ain't far-fetched. It ain't far-fetched at all.
You guys, we have to get into this. We believe we have motive. We believe we have location, and we believe we had what really happened. And we are going to use Warren and Trayvon's own interviews along with some thought they were deleted Facebook posts and get into this. And I think this is the real reason why they all deactivated their social media accounts, because they didn't want us to know the history.
Now, that right there, I mean, listen, say what you want, but there's so many things that has happened within this whole thing. People, the social media going away, the times being wrong, nobody knowing this, nobody knowing that. And another thing, when we get into this whole Bart thing, we're going to talk about Bart, because Bart, what people aren't realizing is Bart is 21, right? So Bart wanted to stay as far away from anything as he could, because Bart is the one guy who actually graduated. Bart is 21, so that means Bart can do what now? Bart can buy drinks, right? So who's to say Bart wasn't the one that was supplying the alcohol to begin with? That's something we got to think about too, but let's continue.
History of what? The history that Katie was Bart's girl. Who is Bart? Bart is Bart Edmonton Jr. He is a promising NFL player. Well, he's a future NFL player. Comes from a legacy line of football players. His family, his grandfather, his dad are big dogs down in Ocean Springs. And what's more, Katie was Bart's girl, Bart Edmonton Jr., and it is unclear on whether she was still his girl. Now let's
Whether she his girl or not, if she was his girl, you trying to tell me Bart ain't feel no type of way about it? I'm not saying Bart did something about it, but it wouldn't be far-fetched if Bart did or wanted to. I'm just saying.
not forget, let's put everything in order. Bart Edmonton Jr., when Warren was giving the interview, he kept saying, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. He only slipped up one time and said Bart's name. Now, the Marine Resource Division of Jackson County literally slipped up and gave out a Freedom of Information request. It actually gave us the audio, but what's more important, it gave the name of the person that reported Nolan missing. You guys, we have.
Now, look, also, when we go to the audio, y'all know one of the names that was said in the audio that people said they heard in the audio was Bart. So this Bart character is going to be very, very important for us to look into, right? Now, this is Judge Mathis listening to the enhanced audio of Nolan Wells' friend's emergency call.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the work coming up, sir?
So that part I want to stop right there because a lot of people push back on that part. A lot of people were saying that, some people interpreted that as him saying, get the F up. And then other people said that he was saying, shut the F up, because he was trying to get everybody to calm down because people were panicking that the boat was going to sink, right? That the boat was bringing on water. People didn't know what to do and they were panicking. That's what they said. That's the conversation with that. But that's one of those things where it could go either way, right? And I don't have no problem with that. I don't have no problem with talking about something that could go either way. But it's when the people get on here and say, it can't be this, it had to have been that. That's where we got the issues, man. That's where we got the issues. Again, okay to speculate, and we're going to speculate on whatever, all the sides we see based on all the things that has happened, man.
Give me a description. Ankles.
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
That I did not know that existed. And if this is authentic radio transmission between the dispatcher and the caller, then certainly this turns it on its head. They're observing him injured, asking if he's dead. Whoever on that call, with the technology we have now and with interviews amongst the folks who were there, or the phone that the emergency call came from. The dispatcher has that number. Someone can get it. Then you'll go to the person who made the call and say, what did you see? This is real easy if that is the case. So we'll see what they do with this evidence. The fact that there's some audio from the dispatcher where the person calling asks, or in the background, one or the other, asks, oh my God, is he dead?
So for all the people that's saying like that's not what he said, again, we don't know for sure, we don't know for certain, but one more time, when you take into account all the things that have been contradicting stories from I seen him at this time, that time not adding up because you was actually here at this time, his phone being left on the boat, his phone having messages deleted, all that stuff matters. And as we go through these video clips, we're gonna see there's a lot of holes in their stories, man. So when you hear something like that, you got no choice but to feel like, damn, what exactly did they do?
So that's a whole new level of evidence that I'm interested in seeing where they go with that. It sounds like you're looking at something that has already happened and you witness what happened and you're saying, did he die from what I just saw? That's what you're saying. Oh, is he dead? Or what? Somebody walked you from around the park and said, hey, or around the other boat dock and say, hey, come look at this. No, you were there. So if that video and audio is correct, it's a whole nother level of evidence that indicates culpability.
Yep, continue. Now, in this clip, and this is Secret Service Sam, there's been a lot of conversation about people getting threats over the investigation, like people getting threats about how they're handling the investigation. And the Mississippi Attorney General is saying that those threatening Nolan Wells' investigation will be held accountable. Now, this is something that we see a lot. It's where people shift this attention to things that really don't matter. And I'm not saying that people should be out here threatening people because they shouldn't, but it's just funny that, you know, when it comes to something like this, that's where like the full extent of everything comes down. And now people are definitely getting threatened with being held accountable.
Nolan Xavier Wells update, and Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch says those threatening Nolan Wells' investigation will be held accountable. How about holding the people accountable who did this to Nolan Wells? Isn't it amazing how much they're coming after people for trying to just bring awareness to what happened to this poor kid and trying to figure it out? She said efforts to intimidate, disrupt, or interfere with the work of our law enforcement and prosecutors and threats to their well-being will be taken seriously and will hold those who make them accountable.
Crazy.
Again, why don't you hold the people who did this to Nolan Xavier Wells accountable? Why don't you hold the governor accountable? Why don't you hold the DA accountable? Why don't you hold Sheriff John Ledbetter accountable? All these people, Stacey Turner, the medical examiner, all these people who were stalling out. Again, don't you think if this was an accidental death, they would have ruled this day one? So obviously there's something more to this, and they need to release the initial autopsy. They need to give the throat and the lungs to the family so they can get that second autopsy, so we can just rule out that it wasn't an accidental drowning or it was. But what are you guys holding up? And why would the Attorney General, Lynn Fitch, be now threatening people for just demanding answers? Now, obviously, if people were making any kinds of threats to public officials or any of the family, I understand that's not okay. But if they could put all of this energy towards actually solving this case, they might not have to make statements like this.
That's a fact. It's a fact. So this is official sworn police report, right?
Why do you think that his friends told the cops that they didn't know the girl that he went with? Weird how in Warren's little interview he fails to mention that he spoke with the deputies and several friends claimed they didn't know the girl he left with. Right here, 1:30 in the morning, even though they were supposedly texting with Katie, right? Didn't get their story straight yet. Right there, in black and white, the boys lied. Or are we going to pretend that this isn't evidence too?
Again, see, when you start to bring up all these little things that don't make sense and don't add up, how could you not understand that there's something going on here? How could you not feel like this is a massive cover-up? I'm just saying, man.
Breaking news tonight in the Nolan Wells investigation, enhanced distress call audio bombshell.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
What did we just hear? What was that? One more time, please.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say? Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Straight out to investigative reporter Crime Stories, Dave Mack. Did you just hear what I heard? Now, this has been transcribed, and this is the CTO dispatch call. Because, Dave, when I first heard this, I thought, has this been doctored? Is this real? Where's this coming from, Dave?
Nancy, this is coming from from Mississippi, from the actual official. Okay, when we get into the Mississippi Fish and Wildlife and the reserve putting this out for the public, this is not like from Dave Mack's recording. This is an official recording, Nancy, that is being issued, and it's shocking when you listen to this call for a tow, for the sea tow. Going further into it, Nancy, you're picking apart all of the different voices that can be heard on this one phone call, trying to determine what is really taking place on this boat that is allegedly sitting in 31 feet of water, a depth of 31 feet. And a bilge pump not working, claiming they're sinking.
Let's talk about the text messages being deleted. I keep telling y'all, when we start to put all these things together, you start to realize that some of this stuff just don't add up. And some of this stuff just don't make no sense. But let's hear about those text messages too.
Now, remember, I just made a video that this judge, who's also the mother of one of the boys that was on the boat and a friend. And of course, she claims that kids have been questioned by police. They did nothing wrong. They left early because the boat was taking on water. But somehow they made sure that Nolan didn't have his phone when they left. No, it's all peculiar. And now it's been revealed that text messages have been deleted. Why? They had his phone and returned it with deleted text messages. These friends said they had last seen him talking to a...
Is that not enough? Like, let's be real. Is that not enough for you to start questioning shit? That alone don't make no sense. Why would you delete text messages? Why would you have his phone in the first place? And then to go and delete text messages? Okay.
Female. When they left him, that female was interviewed and said that Nolan had told them that he had to get back to the boat. Nolan's family, as well as tons of other people, are saying that things are just not adding up, despite what this judge and the mother of that one of those boys is trying to say.
So TMZ has been posting some weird things, right? They had a post earlier where they said they had two witnesses, supposedly two random witnesses that have said that they saw Nolan on the island when the friends left and all this other stuff. That's a little strange. You just got these two random people that haven't been identified. Nobody knows. And we supposed to just listen to that, right? Either way, this is a video that they also put up to say this was taken during the sea tow call, and they're saying Nolan is not on the boat, right? But let's check this out.
This new video has come out. It's like 2.5 to 5 seconds long, but it clearly shows the boat that was sinking. It clearly shows the kid on the phone. Now, this doesn't make everything make sense for me. Like, I still don't understand how the grandpa knew to cancel the sea tow so instantly. I mean, I have my assumptions on how that happened, but nothing really makes pure sense. But I think it's safe to say that Nolan Wells is not on the boat, and what we think we're hearing in the audio is not what we're actually hearing in the audio. I just want to share this as an educational moment. Okay, there's auditory suggestion. It's a real thing. So you can do some research on that, and it may help you and us all understand why we think we're hearing what we're hearing. Please keep a very open mind. A tunnel vision mind won't get answers to a crime.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I just find it strange that that footage showed up and they're trying to say that he wasn't on the boat, and they pan into all these people like on this boat and doing that shit for a quick 3 seconds. I just find that a little bit strange. I'm sorry if I can't buy into that. I just can't. So a lot of the attention is on Bart right now, right? A lot of the attention is on Bart. Let's check this out.
The case of Nolan Wells has now hit another level of discussion after leaked official audio of his friends, who some consider were not his friends, emergency call to a boat tow company will begin circulating online.
Our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut the fuck up!
Damn it, Bart, huh? Could mean anything. Could mean anything.
Now, what will shock listeners from the recorded audio was the commotion taking place in the background as the boat's driver, identified as Wyatt Pyron, spoke with the operator of Sea Tow while allegedly struggling with the boat. As reported, along with others, we appear to hear the word dead be used, along with something that sounds like Nolan, followed by a cry out of, "Oh my God," by a female passenger. Then a male voice saying, "Wake the F up," or "Shut the F up," and lastly, someone yelling out, "Damn it, Bart." Now, some have gone on to attempt to debunk a few of those claims being reported. So in this report, we will focus on the words that mainly everyone agrees to have heard, which is the woman yelling out, "Oh my God," and "Damn it, Bart." According to a recent interview by Warren Hudson, the self-proclaimed best friend of Nolan, and who was identified since the case's earliest reports, the lead call would be made just as they were getting help to be told by their friend Bart Edmiston, which means that Damn It Bart was more than likely directed towards Edmiston, who happens to be a former student of Ocean Springs High School and a now collegiate athlete for the University of Wyoming as their starting punter. Now, upon research, it can even be confirmed that Bart and Wells were also former teammates, as seen here in this picture, shared on Ocean Spring High School's football Facebook page, and ironically, what appeared to be a very wholesome moment of them next to each other, talking to elementary students, no longer reflects the status of where Edmiston and Wells have now ended up today, with one being a victim of a mysterious death and another accused of being behind it. Now, for those who feel Edmiston should be in question, mainly comes from his aggressive tone when seemingly yelling out, "Shut the F up" or "Wake the F up" before someone yells out, "Damn it, Bart," which for those who feel that the audio reveals a possibly dying Nolan was on one of the boats or near the boats, falls perfectly into the timeline after a female passenger would yell, "Oh my God," in horror as if she witnessed something gruesome. Suspicions for some about Bart also center around the lack of mention of him by anyone during this entire case, as if he was purposely being hidden. So who is Bart Edmiston Jr.? According to research, he is 21 years of age and looks to have...
This is very important, right? Because we talked about this, about Bart being 21. So Bart being 21 years old of age, if this is correct, again, Bart could have been somebody that's able to buy liquor. Bart could have been the one that was supplying the liquor. There's a lot of things that these kids was doing on this damn boat that could get them in a lot of trouble, right? The drinking, the boating while drinking, being heavy under the influence, the things that they was doing, obviously they did not want people to know. When they said Coast Guard, they was like, nah, we don't need that. They didn't need that. So if Bart is 21 and Bart can do these things, and the fact that nobody's been hearing anything about Bart, from Bart, why are they hiding Bart? Very interesting thing to think about, especially when you tie that with the fact that Bart and Katie may have been involved. And Katie is supposedly supposed to be the girl that Nolan was trying to stay behind with, okay?
Suspicions for some about Bart also center around the lack of mention of him by anyone during this entire case, as if he was purposely being hidden. According to research, he is 21 years of age and looks to have left Ocean Springs High School soon after he and a younger Wells were teammates in 2022 to continue his football career. He is noted for being one of Mississippi's best high school punters, followed by several awards in his time in junior college, to just as recent as last October, as he would make the Ray Guy Award Ray's 8th selection, as one of the top 8 punters in the country with an average of 45.3 yards per punt. Back in 2022, Edmiston was named Athlete of the Week by Gulf Coast, Mississippi news outlet WXXV25.
My dad, which is also Bart Edmiston, I'm a junior, he kicked at the University of Florida, 1992-96. And then he's always wanted me to kick, and then I started it going into my 8th grade year. Last year I was the only kicker on the roster, so I had to do everything by myself, be my own ball boy, go fetch all my balls. But now I have my little brother, he came up, he's in 10th grade, he's a kicker and punter also. But now I make him do all my duties for me. I'll make him go fetch the balls. He's my ball boy now. Kind of mean, but it's brotherly love. When I hit a good punt or a good field goal, I just chase that again.
Now, outside of this audio that has now placed Edmiston at the center of what happened to Wells, there already appears to have been a paper trail on him. As revealed by several sources, Edmiston met with the police and his boat's GPS data was also pulled. In a separate report, it goes on to say that Edmiston provided an investigator with his driver's license and boat registration card. Now, as we stated in our most recent report, we are certain that the FBI and investigators have the necessary tools to confirm what was said in the background during the emergency call to end all speculation. But until that happens, Edmiston now sits in the spotlight, as Wells' family and supporters continue to ask questions on how did a 6'1" athlete vanish amongst a crowd of hundreds of people and then be later washed ashore in the area he was last seen, with no witnesses coming forward when he was first reported to be missing. Now, as mentioned by state officials, the investigation on the mysterious death of Nolan Wells is ongoing, but it appears that the longer that they wait and bits of information comes out, only creates an environment for more speculation. As far as what should happen next, people like former Mississippi Judge Carlos Moore are expecting arrests to be made soon. On his Facebook, Moore would write, "We need some arrests this week." Now, across parts of social media, many would take to TikTok and elsewhere to share the reaction to the newly highlighted audio and their thoughts on what needs to happen.
The Nolan Wells case, I am convinced that he was strangled on that boat by Bart. And this is why. So with the audio and the confirmation, I was waiting for more of an expert kind of level. So like Nancy Grace, and she's bringing all these experts and confirming transcripts that I've heard from other creators on here that isolated some of the voice on there. Yeah, whoever this Bart guy, he strangled Nolan. That's where I'm at. And this is why also with the second autopsy, they said that parts of his neck, the organs inside were missing. I think they're trying to cover up that he was strangled.
Well, the new audio came out from that CTO dispatch. I want y'all ass to jail. From Bart to Wyatt to that damn mom who was that judge. Y'all knew something happened to Nolan Wells. Look, in that CTO dispatch call, before somebody picked up, can we cover it up? You killed him. Is he already dead? Nolan, wake up. Look, damn it, Bart. I think Bart ass did it. That's what I think. Look, wake the up. They panicking. They need to be in jail by the night.
You're about to get everything that's coming to you. But what's getting me is the fact that why is the internet solving this case before the sheriff's office?
Because they out here putting shit together. Somebody gonna be right. And you know what I want to say real quick? Because I feel like people got it misconstrued, right? Don't nobody want nothing from this whole thing but answers. All the things people putting together, everybody just want answers. Honestly, if it turns out that the friends had nothing to do with it, good for them. This turns out to be an accident, good for them. I'm happy that they're able to clear themselves from something that they did not do. So when you sit back and you see all this stuff going on and you ask yourself, okay, what if they did do it? Because it's different scenarios, right? You either did or you didn't, or you just simply just don't know. People just trying to figure some shit out, man. That's all it is. People just want the answers. I don't know one person that's saying, I hope it's them. I know people that's saying, if it's them, I want to find out and we can't let them get away with it. People saying that for sure. They don't want them to get away with doing some shit like this. It all boils down to people just want to know what happened, man. That's all.
That's what gets me. Y'all were so quick to declare that there was no foul play.
Yep.
Just an accident. And look what we're turning up here.
There's things that seem weird there, and it's still, to me, you were in the location where his body was found, very close to where his body was found, and that's when you called for help and your grandfather called to cancel help, and there were 7 people on the boat, and there's some commotion in the background, and it doesn't sit right with me. Like I said, boating culture, I don't know how you leave with 7 people in a boat full of water. And I also don't know how you leave with 7 people and not a boat full of water and end up not going very far, because they were still right off the west tip, and having a boat full of water. I need somebody to explain to me how that happened in calm seas with a boat that was operational when you loaded it.
To note, Wells will be found 2 days later in the same part of the island where these now boats would depart from, adding to more coincidences that point out a cover-up for some.
Yeah, listen, man, I really hope that we find some answers soon, and we gonna keep talking about it. We gonna keep speculating. We gonna keep putting things together. Any information that comes through, we gonna put it together and we gonna talk about it. So I hope that people can figure this stuff out, because I think this pressure is necessary. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. I will be updating y'all when some new things come out, when some new development comes out, and we shall see how this whole thing goes. All right, till next time, y'all know the vibes. Let's go.
It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that'll really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G-Tag, yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga. What are we? They like, what he on? This the Alpha and Omega, bitch, welcome home. This is not